Where tools live in the arc, every coaching tool belongs to a phase, and the wrong phase is where good tools go to flatten. When you open your toolkit, how do you actually decide what fits? Or do you mostly reach for what's familiar? That's not a rhetorical question. Most coaches, if they're honest, would say they reach for familiar, not because they're unskilled, but because habit moves faster than analysis. Naming that honestly is where this video begins. Each phase of the arc pulls toward a different family of tools. Discovery benefits from awareness and exploration tools, things that surface what the client hasn't yet named. Goal setting calls for clarity and direction tools, tools that help the client sharpen a fuzzy picture into something workable. Action is where planning and accountability tools belong, structured approaches that help clients move and stay moving. Reflection is served by meaning-making tools, questions and exercises that help the client understand what their experience actually taught them. And review draws on integration tools, ways of looking across the whole arc and consolidating what's been built. These aren't rigid boxes, they're natural clusters where each tool family does its best work. The fit comes from what the phase is asking of the client. Take two tools most coaches know, the Wheel of Life and the Grow model. These aren't interchangeable, and the reason is phase fit. The Wheel of Life belongs in discovery. It's designed to surface what's out of balance, to reveal the landscape the client is living in before goals are set. Using it in action phase, when a client knows where they're going and needs to move, gives them data they already have. Grow belongs in action. It structures the path from where you are to where you want to go. Deploying it in discovery, before a client knows what they want, ask them to plan a destination they haven't found yet. Each tool fits the phase because it matches the actual work the phase is doing. Here's the pattern worth naming directly. Most reaching isn't deliberate, it's habitual. You use the tools you know well, the ones that have felt useful before, the ones you're comfortable facilitating. And the problem isn't the familiarity itself. The problem is when familiarity substitutes for fit. A coach who reaches for the Wheel of Life because they love it, even when the client is already 3 months in and ready to move, isn't doing anything wrong on purpose. They're just using the wrong filter. Phase fit is the first filter. It comes before comfort, before preference, before this has worked before. Knowing the phase narrows the field. A discovery moment calls for awareness tools. And that eliminates most of your planning and accountability options right away. What's left is a much smaller set of candidates. From there, other filters apply. What's the client's readiness? What format fits this session's energy? What purpose are you actually serving right now? Those are Module 3's territory. But none of those filters work if phase fit doesn't come first. If the tool doesn't belong in this phase, the rest of the evaluation doesn't matter. After this video, there's an activity on the lesson page. Name your top 3 tools, the ones you use most, and tag each to the phase it actually serves best. What I want you to notice in that exercise is whether you've been deploying any of them outside their best phase, not as a judgment on your coaching, as information about your patterns. Sometimes the familiarity trap is invisible until you put it on paper. That list makes the pattern visible. Here's something I see coaches do when a session goes flat. They conclude the tool didn't work. The client wasn't engaged, the exercise fell flat, the structure didn't land, so they retire the tool. They stop using it. They search for a better one. But most of the time, the tool was fine. It showed up in the wrong phase. A good tool in the wrong phase looks exactly like a bad tool. The difference only becomes visible when you ask, what phase was the client actually in when I reached for that?